Hi everybody, welcome to Missy's Imaginees. I have to say, I think potatoes are the Lord's blessed vegetable. I love potatoes. I don't know if there's anything aside from cooking a rotten potato or making mashed potatoes and watering it down to the point where you're not sure if it's the potatoes or the gravy. I think aside from those two things, there's not much you can do to ruin a potato. So that being said, we'll move on. So welcome today. You can see I have on my safety glasses. Yes, they're real. I had to get them for work. So I have my safety glasses on. So that's a hint to what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be working construction. No, but anyway, before we get to that, I went to the doll show, and last video I forgot to show you what I got. So I will introduce her. It's a little Dorothy. Isn't she the cutest little thing ever? It's Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz, and I found her. She's completely articulated. How cute is that? So cute. She could even ride a horse, you know, if you want the horse of a different color. She could ride the horse. She's completely articulated, lots of joints. My guess is, let's lay her down on the measuring thing. She is 8 inches tall. I have no idea where she came from. I don't know if this was supposed to be like an action figure, if it's a limited edition of something, but I found her at the doll show for $5. Could not walk away. And what got me especially is how realistic her little face is, like Judy Garland. It's so cute. Her shoes were missing, but I had some shoes that fit the toner resin Tiny Betsy that were red, so of course I got those for her. So now she has on her red shoes. I could at some point add a little glitter if I want, but I don't know if I will. But anyway, so Dorothy, that's all I bought at the doll show. I was more concentrated on selling things than I was buying things, but when I looked around, went through all the tables, saw her and couldn't resist because I love the Wizard of Oz. I do. I love the Wizard of Oz. I'll just say it. I'll just say it out loud. So anyway, but I'll take that back. I got her, and I also got some doll stands. So she has a stand somewhere in the midst of all my things. So, but for today, she can sit here. I'll have to move some needles, and she can sit on my little, there we go, on my little pin cushion and be prepared to watch the show today. So what I want to do today, I have some sewing projects. I'm debating on going between a couple things, and I did have a request to see if we were going to sew the toner matte baseball t-shirt and cargo shorts. I posted the pattern for on the website, and I thought about doing that, but this weekend has just been, I'm just rambling, aren't I? I had a couple long weeks, and so this weekend I've just kind of crashed and relaxed. So, but I wanted to get this done, and then I'll see, maybe that will be next. I've also debated on sewing the outfit, the Orient Christmas dress. It's like a pleated skirt and a top. The pattern is already on the website, so I thought about sewing that set. Still debating, but since I actually had a request on the shorts, maybe we'll do those first. So anyway, those are coming up. And then also I wondered if it would be beneficial if there's something in particular you would like to see put together as like part of an outfit. Like maybe you're having trouble with sleeves, or you want to know how to put cuffs on something, or how do you make different types of collars. So if there's something in particular you're curious about, I'm not saying that I'll know how to do it, but we could probably learn together as we try it. So if you have ideas like that and questions, feel free to post them down in the comments, because I always read my comments. And So yeah, I always try to keep up on that and answer everybody to the very best of my ability. Sometimes it takes a little while because I'm at work, and so I have to wait until I get a break or whatever. So if there's a delay, just know that I'll get there eventually. But I love having feedback from you guys. I love it that you come to watch. So if there's something that would be helpful, even if I don't know how to do it, maybe I could figure it out and learn and then share what I learned. So I'd be happy to do that. So if you have any ideas like that, feel free to post those, because that helps me have ideas. So for today, as you probably saw in the title, I want to make a hook for stringing BJDs. I have a small hook. I should probably go get it. So this small hook I've used on several projects, and it's okay, but it's very thin, and I've actually had this hook straightened while I was trying to do something. Also, this is only big enough for like 2 fingers. So I saw someone that had a hook that was more like a corkscrew, and I don't have a corkscrew, but I thought I'm going to invent something, because you know me, if I can do it cheaply, I will, and if I can do it myself, I will. So I'm going to use a hanger, and I'm going to fashion a hook out of the wire of a hanger because it's really nice and heavy. And then I thought, what do I want to use for the handle? So now if you have a wooden dowel that's thick, probably a good 1/2 inch thick, that would be strong enough that you know it's not going to bend or break, that would be good. But I did have one of these, which is the handle from a lint roller. And it already has a dent, so it has a place where I'm going to be able to wrap wire around it. I could even thread it through here if I needed to. And I'm thinking that this is going to work for my T handle to give a lot of place for my fingers to grip. So I don't know, I'm going to try it. So I'm going to be cutting this wire, and I'm going to be wrapping part of it around here, and then I'm going to put a hook on the other end. I also have a file, so I can file the end so it won't be sharp, hence the safety glasses. And I have both regular pliers, needle nose pliers, wire cutters that might actually be too small for what I want to do, but we're going to try it. We're going to try to do a hook for stringing these guys. Then also I have something that I was going to share, and hopefully it will be helpful. I've watched tons and tons of restringing videos, and by and large, every video I've seen, I'm not saying it's all that's out there, but what I've seen is you thread it down, you hook in your feet, and then you pull it up through the neck, and then you pull it up through the head and put the head on. To me, that's like the most awkward way to string a BJD, because when you look inside these lovely little heads, here we go, sometimes the opening isn't that big, and sometimes you have elastic that has these gigantic knots, and so while your doll is strung, you're reefing and yanking and trying to pull all of that junk up through that tiny little hole. To me, that just seems backwards. But what I usually like to do is I start with taking the elastic and I put it on the hook, and I come down through the head, down through the torso, and I string it down through the body and put the feet on last. To me, it just makes more sense, because then I've got more of a grip and I'm only pulling this little bit. I can hold onto the leg and grab, pinch that elastic hook, put the foot on, and I'm done. Instead of having to bring all of this bulk up through that little hole and then try to twist and maneuver that. And then also with the arms, I take that loop, over the hook and come down through the neck, down through the torso, do the arms, and then I do the feet last. So anyway, if that's helpful, I'm hoping it will be. Just something for you to try. So without further ado, I will put on my safety glasses. First, I'm gonna cut the wire, and I'll probably cut from where it bends here. I don't know, maybe I'll just use that to wrap around. Maybe I'll cut about here so that my hook, sorry cat, my hook will be about this long, because that would enable me to do legs and such. And so I'll probably cut it here and cut it about there, like, I don't know, 4 inch. And then this part I can wrap around with the aid of some pliers. And then I also have some medical tape, which you can also tape around any of the edges that might scratch. And then I also, of course, have the file so I can file off the ends. So without further ado, let's see what kind of damage I can do here. I should probably get rid of the doll. Well, not get rid of the doll, but, you know, move it. But I think he'll be okay. So let's see. And I hear my cat. She's hollering at me here. So I'm going to cut about here. And this, yeah, this will be exciting. Here we go. I'm going to start by bending until it snaps. That's why I have on safety glasses. Ah, whoa! That was faster than I thought it would be. Okay, so this is not going to be used. Oh, and here she comes. No, away from the food. No potatoes for you. There we go. Okay. Really, Alice? Yes, she loves to find out what's going on. Now, for about here, around, I don't know, enough to try it. So here we go. So now, once again, I'm using my wire cutters. I'm gonna go back and forth gently because I don't want it to snap. Here. And over glass, this probably wasn't the brightest thing I've ever done. Okay, so those pieces I don't need. Now, my trash can here. I'm going to use a diamond file. And if you have an actual metal file, that'd probably be the best thing to use. But I'm going to just kind of file, and I think it's doing more to tear up my fingernail file than it is anything else. Oh, it's actually making a difference. Well, there we go. Okay, so sometimes my ideas work. This is kind of a cheap file from Dollar Tree. It'd probably be better if you use an actual metal file. Oh wow, well that actually worked. Oh, look at that. Oh, and it did scrape off the nail file. I'll probably have to throw that away when I'm done. But here we go. Okay, now this edge is more important because this is the one that's going to go in and out, you know, of the doll. And you don't want it to scratch up your resin. But you can also tape some of that medical tape around the edges, and that will kind of help. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, I have to say I am pleasantly surprised that this is working. Wow. All right, so we filed the ends because we don't want those to be sharp. We don't want to cut fingers. We don't want to ruin resin or any of that kind of stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to hold the wire with one hand, with one set of pliers, and I'll use the other one to bend, maybe. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh, it got a little bit long, but that's okay. I'm now going to smash this down so that it is a tight hook, but not closed. There we go. Okay. So there's my hook. And I maybe should have made it shorter, but you know, there we go. Okay, so there's my hook on one end. Now this end, let's see what we can do here. I'm going to go through the handle part here because while I'm working and like if I'm going to pull and twist, I don't want it to spin in my hand. I want to actually be able to turn it how I want. So I'm going to come through here and then I'm going to wrap it around the handle like such. Oh, look at that. Okay. Ha! Who'd have thunk? Okay, and then I might go ahead and, let's see, come and wrap around. Maybe we'll wrap that around too. Okay, so now it's getting to the shorty part. I am just so incredibly cheap, guys. I'm telling you, I just am. I'm sorry. Well, I won't say that I'm totally cheap, but I'll say that I want to spend more money on things that I would spend the more money on, you know, like the actual dolls, you know, and heads and pretty glass eyes and stuff like that, because I'm really bad about, if it's something I can make myself, I very rarely will buy it just because I'm cheap. So yeah. Okay, so let's see. Now I think I might wrap this around one time. Let's see. It's so stiff. I don't know. I'll have to hold it here. Let's see. And bend it down. Oh, well, there we go. Look at that. I wish there was a way to go inside there, but I probably can't do that. All right, but I think because of the way it's anchored, if I turn my wrist, this is not going to spin in my hand. It's just there. So now, let's see. I think I will. I've got a little bit of a wire end sticking up here, so I'm going to pinch that down as much as possible. Let's see if I can get that to pinch down a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Maybe. And maybe from this direction. Well, if nothing else, it's comedy relief, right? Okay. I thought I could maybe press it down, but I'm not really getting good leverage on that one. Okay, come on. Oh, here we go. If I use the other wire rather than the handle. Okay, there, yeah. All right, so now, since I have this here, just to be on the safe side, I've got my medical tape. All right, let's try it. Okay, and somewhere I should have scissors. Oh, in here. Okay. And the medical tape also, it sticks to itself well, and it's kind of stretchy. So that's kind of why I like this kind. So I'm going to go over the top of this and tape that into place. There we go, so that it's not scratching my hand or my fingers. And this one is still it's pretty good where I filed that. So that looks all right. So here we go. So for you fellow cheapskates out there, is that bad to say? I don't know. I just, like I say, I Googled, I looked, and I'm just probably not looking in the right places. I'm sure there's things out there, but the only thing that I could find when I searched were these. And like I say, I've had this straighten out while I was trying to pull stuff, and it's tiny. So here we go. So on this, now we'll test it out. All right, we'll do our test run. So here we go. Have him sit here. So if we take this and we can hook it on the hook, and we can pull and twist. It might be a little too long, folks. You might not want it this long. And here, yeah, all the knots. So yeah, that's exactly what my point was. But this does work. I was able to turn it, and so let's turn it back, and yeah, there we go. So yeah, that'll work. Cool. Okay, so I was able to get all the knots through the head and to get this head off. So let's just change out the head. Do something different here. So if we're going to change and put on a different head, Here we go. Let's see how this will work. So now the hook is still on here, fortunately. So let's see. And like I say, I hate doing dolls this way because to me it's just super awkward, but for the sake of trying out our hook here, I will put the hook through the opening in the head, and if I can find the hook there, I will pull. Alright, and pull it through and twist. And voila, there we go. Well, that worked. And then I also will say that the other thing I do like to do that is to pull up all the ends of the elastic to make sure I have all four of the ends up there, you know, on the ends of the knots. And then sometimes these heads, they tend to want to click a little bit. So to help with positioning a head, I have like a little piece of clear vinyl, and I cut it in a circle. There we go, or oval, and then I fold it in half, and then I cut a little dip out of it, and I just use that as a shim underneath the chin. So if I pull up a little bit on his chin and slide this up underneath there, right up against the elastics, it's just, it gives enough grip that it really helps on how their head works without having to, there we go, without having to suede them with hot glue, and then it's removable really easy. So there we go. So we put on a different head using our new handy dandy hook. There you go. So anyway, cheapskate way to make a hook. There it is. So exciting. It's ugly, it's cheap, but it does the job, and you can make it as long or short as you want. I may actually shorten this up. Let's try it here. Let's go ahead and shorten it. I was thinking have it long for the legs, but you know, it was just a little awkward, a little too long, I think. So there's my first revision already, made it shorter. So there we go. So thanks for coming along. Also, before I depart, thank you so much to all of you who come and watch. We're over 200 subs, so thank you so much. I so appreciate that. I'm trying to think of something fun to do when we get to 500. So that's like the next big one, you know, the next milestone. So we did the 100, and when we get to 500, I'm trying to think of something to do there. And then, yeah, when we climb and have the big one. So I'm trying to think of something fun, but at the same time, something that everyone can enjoy. So I love doing the prizes. That was really fun, but it was, you know, only 9 people. So I want to think of something. I don't know. Maybe it'll be like a pattern set, like a big download or something. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for coming. Have fun sewing this week. And again, it's been a rough couple weeks. I've just been really swamped, and so I needed some rest this week, and I appreciate your support and that you watch, and I love your questions. So if you have any more ideas on these that you want to post in the comments, give each other ideas and spur on that creativity. I'm sure that you can find something far better to do, but I like to find stuff that I already have that I can use, and hey, that means this little plastic handle will not go in landfill. So there we go. So have a great week. I'll see you next time, and thanks for coming.